Have you ever wondered how people are using books to build million-dollar businesses on the back end? Have you ever wondered how people take their knowledge, turn it into a book, and then use that for massive business growth? Well, I want to share exactly what I've done to take my $3.17 book and turn it into $1 million in just 12 months. You see, when I first got into the book space, I had wrote my first book at 23 years old. I had no idea what I could actually do with it or how I could actually monetize from the book. I just thought, oh, this is awesome. I'm 23 years old. I got a best-selling book. Let's see what can come from this. And at first, it was just book sales. That was the only monetization strategy I really knew. I figured the book's online, people buy the book, I get the royalty checks. Then, shortly after that, it led to speaking engagements. And that started to grow and to grow and to grow. And I started getting paid thousands of dollars. I started turning those speaking engagements into bigger deals that allowed me to go to multiple locations paid by one person versus just being paid by the event. Then I tried to turn my books into digital products, create different funnels. That led to high ticket coaching, and eventually it led to one-on-one and done-for-you services. So I've kind of tried a little bit of everything, but that was kind of the progression. Book sales to speaking gigs to products to high ticket coaching to one-on-one to done-for-you services. And if you notice, it started with the lowest amount I could make, and it started to increase until the highest and highest based on how much time is invested. And so over the last 10 years, I've written 4 best-selling books. I've helped 250 plus people do the same. But most importantly is I've been able to use a book to change my life. I've been able to use my book to build several businesses. I've built a speaking business, a coaching business, and a book publishing company. And so whatever it is that you're trying to monetize, a book can help you get there. And so what I'm going to share with you right now is how I turned my $3.17. That's how much it cost me to buy one of my own books. I'm going to show you how I turned that $3.17 book into over $1 million in sales in a 12-month period. Now, I want to be really honest and upfront about this. I didn't put $1 million into my pocket because of this, but this was $1 million in sales for the business. Unfortunately, I see so many claims online about people making this amount of money, insinuating that that's how much they've kept. But in reality, a lot of these claims aren't accurate. And so I just want to be really clear that this book led to $1 million of sales into our business in a 12-month time frame, which I'm damn proud of, by the way. And I'm really excited to share this with you because I think sometimes it can feel so far out there, especially if you've never done it before. And I kind of want to show you and kind of break it down of why writing such a niche specific book allowed me to become the go-to expert, which then allowed me to raise my prices, get opportunities, become the #1 referral partner for people, and then ultimately build out $1 million in sales and from that pipeline. So here's how I did it. First and foremost is I wrote a really, really high quality book focused on a specific topic that solves a specific problem. So this book that I'm referencing is called Big Idea. It's a bestseller. You can see it right behind me. And it's all about how to write, launch, and profit from a nonfiction book. And so I wrote that book because, one, if I was going to sell that on the back end, I wanted to have a book that would be directly related to my core offerings. So I wrote that book and it was very, very niche specific. I used examples of my personality, my framework, my methodology. I gave people real tactical value. And a lot of people got the result just by reading the book, which was amazing. But a lot of other people also wanted to inquire for help. And so the first step of all of this is you have to write a really high quality book that solves a specific problem. And if that specific problem can then be, the next layer of that can then be solved by something else that you do or with more implementation, then that is a positive thing. Okay. But first and foremost, you want to write a great book that solves a problem. Your book needs to do the heavy lifting and it needs to actually help people, not just be a pitch fest. Once that book came out, I really focused on leveraging that to build my authority in this space. So once that book came out, I doubled down and I just became the book guy, the book publishing guy, the book coach. I wanted everyone to know exactly what I did. And so this book was like, hey, this is what we do. This is how we do it. Take a look at it. And if you like it, we'd love to support you. And so I try to build my credibility on top of that. Get a couple featured articles, get some press, start speaking on friends' podcasts, start pitching myself for other podcasts. And the thing that I did, though, that was 100% in my control was I made all my content specific to the book and specific to what I offered, which those things were very similar. It was on the similar topic in the book publishing space. And by doing that, I was able to create so much content on the topic of my book. And I what I did, and anyone can do this, is I just went page by page or chapter by chapter, and I just started talking about the things in the book in the form of reels, carousels, graphics, images, etc. And what this did was this allowed people who came to my page to be able to see all of the knowledge that I had related to this particular topic, which allowed people to inquire about our services and what we do for people. The next thing that I did was I gave my book away as much as I possibly could. You see, a lot of first-time authors, they get caught up in this concept of like, gosh, I don't really want to give away this book. I'd rather try to sell it. But here's what I've come to realize. I'd rather forego a $7 royalty, an $8 royalty for a $17,000 or $18,000 client. Shoot, I'd rather give up a $15 royalty, if that's what it was, for a $5,000 client. I'll take that trade all day long. And so my mentality with this book, and also having 3 other books of experience and practice, is I wanted to give this book away as much as possible so that it can get into the hands of the people who could potentially hire me down the road. And so what I would do is I would ship it to conferences and events. I gave it away. I sent it for VIP swag bags. Anybody who wanted a copy or was interested in writing a book, I said, hey, let me send you a copy of my book in the mail. Okay, I use it as a lead magnet. So I gave the physical copy away, I gave the digital copy away, and then I used it as a lead magnet, where instead of just saying, here's a chapter, I said, here's my whole damn book. And what this did was this allowed me to grow a great list of people who were interested, but it also allowed me to get noticed by tons of other people. And what was really cool is, I'll tell you a story real quick, is I sent this out to a lot of different conferences. And one time, somebody had gone to all these different conferences, and they were like, Jake, I have 4 copies of your book. I need to speak with you because this is a sign that I need to write my book. And then boom, they signed up to work with us. So by getting your book out there, you're getting the exposure that you need, and you're getting it in front of the people. People will start talking about it. And it's just this snowball effect, which is really, really positive for you if you're trying to monetize off the book. So then the next thing that I did was I started doing a lot of speaking engagements. Now, I have a lot of experience doing speaking because early on in my career, I'd written a book and I traveled the world, specifically in the United States and China, getting paid to talk about my book and various different topics and do keynotes and all these different things. But for this book in particular, what I did was I did a ton of free speeches. Now you might be like, Jake, that's crazy. But let me boil this down. I would do free talks to my ideal audiences. Why? Because I knew that if I were to sign up a client from these free talks, it would be worth more than my speaker fee would be. For example, if I was charging $10,000 to speak, that would be guaranteed $10,000, which is amazing. But I wanted to bet on myself and say, you know what? I know that our average client value is $14,000, $15,000 for this particular offer. If I could get one of those people, I make more than my speaking fee. If I can get 2 of those, I double or triple my speaking fee. And so this mentality of mine started to shift because I started focusing on the end result and just giving. And then when someone was ready, converting on the higher stage. And so what I would do is I would do digital trainings for people in their masterminds, in their communities. I would go on other people's podcasts. I would then also go to people's live events. There was one live event where I spoke for free and I paid my way out there. I paid several thousands of dollars to get out there between hotel, transportation, food, everything, giving away books. But that $1,500, $2,000 resulted in several clients. Okay? So let me ask you this. Would you trade $2,000 of investing your own money and take a gamble on yourself if the potential return could be $20,000, $40,000, $60,000, $80,000? Of course. And that's exactly what I did. So I'd speak for free. Then I would generate the lead flow, okay, from these various different events. I would do sometimes a free plus shipping funnel where if they wanted a paperback, I'd give it to them for free. They just cover the shipping and then they could get other offers. So for every free book that people would buy, we ended up making $20 per person. What I would also do is then lead to book a call, and then I would invite them to join if it was a good fit for them and for us, and that would be a high-ticket client. And we have offers ranging from $2,900 a month to $7,400 a month. So clients can sometimes pay us anywhere from $15,000 to $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 for one particular experience that we offer. And so that's how I use the book. I build the credibility. I gave away the book a shit ton, and then I would speak for free talking about this topic, and then following my own back-end sales system. And then the last piece, and this is how we really dialed it in terms of what we were offering that got us that $1 million of sales, is high ticket programs. So when we do this with people and we help people write their books, is we have two main ways we work with people. We have what's called our Elevate experience, which is basically where you want to write the book yourself, but we'll actually pair you with a writing coach so that you could flush it all out. You'll write the book yourself, and then our team will edit it, design it, format it, publish it, and help you with the entire launch strategy, put you on a Times Square billboard. And that program is one of our most popular programs that we have to offer. And depending on how long it takes you, that will determine how much you invest. Okay. And that's really great because you can go fast and pay less, or you can take longer if you're not in any rush, get additional services. And so our average time frame is about 8 months for a client to finish their book. But then we also have our done for you ghostwriting experience, and we call this Excel. And what this is where we'll actually pair you with a ghostwriter. They'll interview you, and then they'll write the book using your own words. You'll approve it, and then we'll do all the rest for you. And so by doing these things, we are selling very high ticket experiences from $15,000 to $50,000, $60,000, $70,000. And so for me, when I look at this and I reflect back on this, I think to myself, okay, I wanted to grow my business. So I wrote a book specifically on the topic of the business that I wanted to grow. I then used that book to become the authority. I gave that book away so I had more visibility. I then got in front of audiences so that I could be their book guy, lead to more referrals. I spoke to different audiences, and then I sold a very high ticket experience. Now, to break it down, if you're selling a $20,000 package, you only need 50 people to break that $1 million mark. So it becomes a lot more doable. And so this is how I turned my $3.17 book, what it cost me to buy a single copy of my book, Big Idea to Bestseller, how we turned it into $1 million of sales for our business. And what's really amazing about this is I've learned what works and what doesn't work. I've tried so many things. And you know what's the coolest thing is everybody's got their own way of making it happen. But what's really amazing is that after me doing this 4 different times with 4 different books and helping hundreds of people, I've really boiled it down to the things that I would encourage people to take if they're really committed on using a book to grow their business. And I'll just recap that for you. Is you write a really niche specific book that solves a problem. You get the book into as many people's hands as possible. You then make sure that your content and your PR represents you so that you're seen as the credible authority and expert. And then you sell something that's high ticket to solve that problem at scale. And if you just follow those steps, you can take a book that can cost you $3.17 and you could turn it into a 6, 7 figure business and beyond. All right. And there's so many other ways that you can monetize your book, but this is what we did and how we were able to add $1 million of sales to our business. So I hope that this was valuable for you. I hope that you really enjoyed this. And I know that I had a great time filming this, but it's really about, do you want to grow your business? Do you have something to share? And do you want to use that to become the authority of your industry, charge more, get more clients, generate more leads, and have more fun in the process? And if that's the case, I'd love to help you and see if we could even help you. And so if you want to do that, look, there are 2 ways that I'm gonna share with you right now. One is I want to give you a free copy of my book. Right? You see, I'm doing it right now. I'm going to give you a free copy of my book. Just go to bigideatobestseller.com/free-book. You'll grab a copy of the book, just cover the shipping, and we'll mail it directly out to you. But if you know you really want to create a game plan of how can you create a book that will then turn into a successful business on the back end, then let's chat. Schedule a demo with me or my team at bigideatobestseller.com/call. We'll hop on the phone with you. We'll break down what is your business today. Where do you want to take your business? Then we'll see what's the best book idea to help you get there. Map it all out, show you the roadmap, how long it's going to take, what it's going to be required, and then boom, you're off to the races. And so there you have it. There you have it. And I appreciate you listening up to this point, and I can't wait to see your books out there turning your businesses into the next level. Talk to you soon.